Hi everyone, I'm Steph Arnaldo, lifestyle and entertainment multimedia reporter at Rappler. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a month where we recognize the strength and bravery of cancer patients, cancer survivors, their families, and loved ones. But this month isn't just a reminder, early detection and awareness. It is also a month where we highlight the stories of courage and hope that come after diagnosis. Today, I'm talking to someone who knows that journey firsthand. April Perreras, a breast cancer survivor who's turned her experience into purpose as a certified cancer exercise specialist. She helps other patients and survivors regain strength, confidence, and hope in movement. So today, I'd like to introduce April. Thank you so much for being here with us at Rappler.
Hi, Steph. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, so before we start, could you share a bit about your background, your career for our audience?
I'm a 42-year-old mom of two girls, and I am a fitness enthusiast. I used to be an emergency room nurse, but now I'm more focused on content creation, fitness advocacies, and especially now that I have surpassed cancer, more on early detection awareness, advocacies, and being a cancer exercise specialist and a lymphedema therapist.
Wow. So that's a lot on your belt. Can you share a bit about your journey, if that's okay?
That's all right.
When and how you were diagnosed with breast
Yeah,
cancer?
it was very recent, just 3 years ago. April 2022, I received my diagnosis. It was invasive lobular carcinoma. I found the lump on my own. It was way back October 2021. So immediately after I felt the lump, I asked for a mammogram request from my doctor, and my mammogram showed normal. But it also revealed that I have dense breasts or thick breast tissues that will not really show if there's a tumor there. So I had to do additional tests when it reached January 2022. And that's when everything started, like my entire roller coaster journey started with all the screening, the tests, surgeries. I had an excision biopsy in April. That's what diagnosed me with cancer. But the results showed that the tumor they got was actually positive with cancer sa entire margins niya. It means that may naiwan na cancer inside. So they had to go back for a second surgery in May. It's a re-excision or another lumpectomy. And they also tested my lymph nodes if there is any kind of spread. Thankfully, wala namang spread on the lymph nodes, but they found additional tumors within the cavity where my original tumor came from. So that's when the doctors recommended that I take out my entire breasts instead. I decided to have a bilateral mastectomy. It's a personal choice for me because I just wanted the peace of mind of not watching over another breast, potentially getting cancer in the future. I also learned that my type of cancer, lobular carcinoma, also has a bigger chance of affecting the other breast. So I opted to have both breasts removed. I had my nipples removed, and then I immediately had reconstruction. So there, I had 22 rounds of radiation a few months
Wow.
after that. And that is what all my treatment, yun na yun. And then I was declared no evidence of disease by November. Currently, I'm taking maintenance medications for the next 10 years.
Wow. So all of this happened in the span of 2 3 years, 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, 2022 lang, everything happened, and then survivorship na.
Wow. Okay. So what was going through your mind during this time, and at what point did you feel like maybe there was, you know, it felt a bit dire, and how did you find the strength to surpass that?
It came as a shock, definitely. I mean, most of the people who I talked to, lahat naman masya-shock. But in my case, kasi I was at my fittest and I was at
Mm.
my healthiest state when I got diagnosed. So super duper, we didn't expect it to be cancer. I was actually hoping it to be benign. But Upon reading the result, first thing that came to mind, death sentence.
Mhm.
As it, our world crumbled. Me and my husband were together when I received the diagnosis, and it was really hard for us. We couldn't grasp the idea. It was a long time to accept for me, but the more I talked about it, the more it felt real for me. So yeah, it was really a roller coaster of emotions.
And then how did you, I guess, learn how to cope? What were
Yeah.
your anchors during this journey?
A lot of prayers, definitely faith. My family served as my pillars. It was very, very challenging for the entire family. Everyone really, supported me, and I felt that it was everyone's battle. But the biggest thing that helped me as well was connecting with fellow breast cancer survivors or patients. I found solace in my breast friends. I was introduced to this group of breast cancer thrivers, and immediately I felt connected, I felt heard, I felt seen and validated because we've been through the same things. And to have that kind of community is very important. And that truly helped me go through the ups and downs of cancer.
And at what point during this journey did you discover that fitness or movement was an integral part of your healing process? Since you
Actually,
mentioned you are a
yeah.
exercise specialist, yun.
Yes, yes. Actually, I've been in the fitness space since I was single, meaning I took care of my fitness. I was exercising, I was doing strength training already. That's why I was already fit even at the time that I was diagnosed with cancer. And with my background in nursing, I knew how exercise can benefit the body of a cancer patient. That it truly becomes medicine. Kumbaga, exercise is medicine. And with that knowledge in mind, I applied it to my own journey. I made myself go through prehabilitation. I prepared my body right before surgery. It's as if I was just really preparing for a marathon. So I've been exercising anyway. I had my routines anyway. So I had my surgeries on the calendar. Therefore, right before the surgeries, I know that I would max up on all my strength training para ready yung body ko. And post-op naman, I knew also what to do, definitely listening to my body and having my doctor's approval on what I can or cannot do. Exercise became integral in helping me heal, especially the first few weeks of surgery after surgery. And even during treatment, I continued and exercised every day because I learned and I know for a fact that exercising, doing strength training, aerobic exercises can enhance the effectivity of cancer treatments. So, all of those, I literally felt and experienced all the benefits of exercise, which led me to, exploring maybe this is something that I can do and help the cancer community with. Luckily, or actually coincidentally, one of my breasties from the US. I just met her through Instagram and I saw her post about her reviewing for a certification course for cancer exercise specialist. So I asked her if it's something worldwide or what do you call it, globally known. And she said yes. So I inquired at the Cancer Exercise Training Institute in USA, and I was able to obtain an online course with them. Fast forward, I also was granted a full scholarship for that course, and I
Mhm.
passed it in 2023.
And you mentioned, are you the first in the Philippines or are there other
I'm one of
specialists?
the firsts. In 2023, when I passed, there's two of us. So I'm not quite sure how active the other CES are. Right now, I have not met them yet. I would love to meet them, but in our Cancer Exercise Training Institute global directory, um, as of the moment, there's like four Filipinos already.
Okay. And for those who aren't familiar, it is a new term, especially here in the country. What
Yeah.
exactly does a cancer exercise specialist do, and what do you promise your patients after a program with you?
Mhm. What we do is very meticulous and specific compared to the usual fitness trainers or rehabilitation specialists or PT. This one is more targeted for a cancer patient because there are many types of cancers and there are many what do you call this surgeries or treatments that happen to a patient. So we take all of those into consideration before we create a tailored exercise program. Um, we also are able to handle patients that are newly diagnosed or currently in treatment or into their survivorship. So it's very specific just for the cancer community. For example, breast cancer, definitely you had a mastectomy or you had your breast tissues removed. So with that in consideration, we already know what are the muscles that are affected, what postural imbalances we expect, what are the usual side effects, long-term side effects of your medications or your treatments, and the prevention of lymphedema. All of those things are all incorporated in a program that's made specially for that patient only.
Usually, how long is the duration of the program? Does it depend on the patient, or is it standard for most?
Yeah, there's no cookie cutter for an exercise program. For me, I have a minimum duration. I want to be very hands-on. I want to see your progress. So my minimum with my patients is 3 months, meaning I am there. We meet once a week at least. We are constantly communicating, and I make sure that you have the proper form, and I also guide you with the movements and educate and provide, feedback, everything. So a lot of my patients already extend, even if I tell them, okay, siguro 3 months would do, and then, I usually give them something that they can move on with and carry on as a lifestyle so that when they want to, let's say, go back to the gym or enroll with other trainers, they already have the foundations and all their muscular imbalances, postural imbalances, the things that limited them because of the surgeries or treatments that they've had, plus the foundations that they need to know are there prior to finishing the program with me. I give them all of that first.
And this is in person, or do you do an online version?
I do everything online. But I
Mm.
also can do face to face, especially if if the patient would need, I think that the patient would need me to be there with her, as in person to guide her. But I've had patients that are face to face, but most of my patients, it's a worldwide thing. I have patients in US, in Japan, all over the
Mm.
Philippines. So it's very flexible.
So when patients book with you, what kind of concerns do they come to you with? Like, is it more for pain relief? Is it mental health? Is it hoping for a cure or relief of symptoms?
Very common is improvement of quality of life.
Mm.
Definitely a lot of limitations in their range of motion, a lot of tightness. Some have pain, some cannot reach what they used to be able to reach, those things. And some are just really um, experiencing a lot of fatigue because of the treatments, because of cancer related fatigue, the chemo induced fatigue, and so many other things. So, a lot of them also, since you have cancer na, mga na-diagnose na, they also want to turn their life 360 and improve for the better, right? So they're more open to exploring how can I make my health and wellness better. I need to exercise, but how can how can I do that? Is there someone to help me? What are the safe exercises? So these are the main concerns of the patients. That's why they get to find me online.
So, how do you tailor routines differently to people going through treatment versus those in remission? Like, what are the differences in their exercises?
Definitely before I start tailoring a program, I always perform an initial assessment and evaluation with each patient. So this one helps me know where they are at. It also gives me their medical, surgical, and treatment histories. I make them perform some range of motion exercises just to assess what they can or cannot do. And then that's where I can create already a tailored program for them. So, for example, for a patient who is currently in treatment, it's a different focus because it's really more of gentle exercises and just really helping them get by, especially with all the side effects that they are currently feeling. There's a lot of cancer related fatigue. There's a lot of weakness, even nausea, vomiting, they can't eat. There are so many issues that they are going through while in treatment, especially with chemotherapy. So it's very supportive in my case. I just really help them restore their mobility. I help them also with prevention of lymphedema. I also help them with their balance, just to avoid injuries. And I also create programs that will also give them back the energy. Exercise can also help with managing your mental state because when you're in treatment, everything is very hard and they can really go to into depression, anxiety, and they feel all sorts of things. And with movement that I am also performing with them, aside from my support that we get to talk to each other and we can relate to each other because I'm also a cancer survivor. Movement also benefits your mental state. There's already a lot of studies proving how it can effectively decrease depression and anxiety for those who are currently going through treatments. For those who are already into their survivorship or who are done with their cancer treatments and surgeries, I usually catch them with their mindset as, I want to be better, I want to be stronger, how can I do this? How can you help me? So my plan and my goals for the patients who are already done or who are already into survivorship are to help them rebuild. So it's a rebuilding phase wherein, of course, there will be a lot of restorations again because most of them come to me with limited range of motion na, like things that they have not really addressed, but there's already a lot of tightness there, and their surgery was 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and a lot of scar tissues have already happened, and they're not exercising. So that's usually the condition of the patients that I get to catch when I meet them. So a lot of rebuilding, restoring, rehabilitative, and strength training. So part of the rebuilding is for me to help them create and build muscles. The muscles will help them not just be stronger, definitely, but muscles also help with bone health, which is the usual side effect or long-term side effect of cancer treatments. And our muscles also help decrease cancer recurrence. So yeah, a lot of preventative measures for survivorship and a lot of strength training.
So it's a very empowering treatment, actually, your program, because it makes them feel like they can take their health back into their hands in some
Yes,
ways.
definitely. Oo, they kind of get it na, wow, I didn't know I can go back to this. Like
Yeah.
those, wow.
When you were starting off and you were getting new patients, were there any misconceptions that they had about exercising during or after cancer treatment?
Yeah, it's still very common until now. A lot of patients don't know that they can exercise while they're in treatment. They're very scared to even lift or to even move because number one fear is fear of pain. They fear that they will feel the pain and it's very traumatizing, so they just won't move. They're also told to rest. So they took it literally and hindi na sila nag-exercise. Sabi kasi mag-rest lang because that's important. Yes, rest is important. But the benefits of exercise will be the one to help them recover faster. So, yeah, it's a lot of education on my part uh, for the patients to be informed that there are safe ways. on all aspects of your cancer journey that you can do, and you can still perform exercises gradually, slowly, and progressively.
Okay. And how has your personal experience as a survivor and your own struggles shaped the way you work with your clients?
Yeah, since I've experienced everything, literally all three surgeries took me down, and really did not allow me to go back to my old routines for quite a while. So from lumpectomies that are just simple well, they are major surgeries, but I mean just a simple excision biopsy. 1 week I wasn't allowed to lift weights. So I got that sense of, okay, this is like a slow and gradual progression. Definitely it's not like the end that I cannot anymore lift my dumbbells, but I will allow myself to heal. I get that, there are days that I just have to slow down and perform gentle movements. So with the way I experienced how surgery impacted me, um, this, I even experienced, an axillary web syndrome wherein I can't raise my hand because there's a cording that's right there. So many things that I did not know about because no one told me. So because of that, because of everything that I have experienced, I also make it a point to share it online through my story in social media. With everything that I experienced, the downsides of it, the side effects, it's important for fellow cancer warriors to learn that, oh, pwede palang mangyari yun, no? And these are the things that you can do to avoid that. So yeah, that's what I did with exercise. Even with my bilateral mastectomy, I had drains in, but I was still doing arm movements. I was still moving every day, and I just listened to my body. So with how I felt everything, that's also how I am able to share to my patients and tell them what they should expect, or I get to relate to what they're feeling.
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask how important is it for survivors to listen to their bodies? But you answered that for me. That part of your program, there's also a mental health aspect. Now, you don't have to push, push, push if you're not feeling it. Like you do guide your patients in learning how to be more aware and of their
Yes.
body. Yeah,
Yes.
so that's also critical in the healing process, no?
Yes.
And you also mentioned that you do social media and you found a community when you were undergoing treatment, and now you're forming your own community online, I believe, right? And aside from the one-on-one programs, you also partner with foundations, right? I think you've partnered with I Can Serve Foundation, and you
Yes.
had a recent event in Western Manila. Could you
Yes,
tell
we
us
did.
about that?
Yeah, since 2022, I've already been a member of I Can Serve, and I've always wanted, to find ways to give back to their programs and to their foundations. So, it actually started with a breast T-shirt campaign, or a breast T-shirt business that I did, because I can't find cute shirts that have things for breast cancer, so I made it myself, and then yeah, I started promoting that. So that began my relationship with I Can Serve. I make sure to donate some proceeds to them, and it formed a good relationship with us. So we work together in terms of advocacies, events, and whatnot. So the one with Weston was actually a tribute to I Can Serve Sisters. So some select I Can Serve Sisters lang naman. I was able to collaborate with Weston Manila because it's also their Breast Cancer Awareness Month campaign. And yeah, we were able to give back to some sisters, and I helped educate about survivorship, exercise, lymphedema awareness. And that's really what usually happens when I do some speaking engagements with the community events that I also have in other centers, such as Better Days Wellbeing Center. Yeah. So we're also partnered with I Can Serve Foundation. So yeah, we promote a lot of things that include educating and promoting awareness to cancer patients.
Okay. So that's something else you do on the
Yeah,
side. Very
I do.
busy.
Uh-oh.
Aside from working with your patients, I'm sure you also are in touch with their family and their friends and loved ones. How do you think it would be better to support cancer survivors or cancer patients?
Oh, I
Like,
see, I see. So you're
them, yeah,
mentioning like
their
about
loved
their love
ones.
givers.
Yes.
Yes. We call them love givers instead of caregivers
Oh,
because they
that's
give
nice.
love, diba? More than care, they also give love. So we have a lot of things to help support love givers as well. And in my case, with me and my patients, with me and my clients, I also involve their love givers, like let's say, inform them that these are the exercises that I'm doing with the patient. It would be great if you can join us, para you can do it together and it will be a fun family thing, right? The important thing about support system in a cancer patient's life is to really have people who will have your back, not necessarily treat you with pity or, you know, all those things, but to really just show up and to be your pillar of strength. Sometimes I also tell love givers that it's really better to just listen a lot than to give advice. Most of the time, we just really need to air out all our emotions, all the things that go out into our minds, and we just need to cry it out, and we just need someone to listen and to just be there to understand what we're going through and to just hold space for us. So that's really something that I always remind the community: find someone or find a support system who will hold space for you.
Okay. And I guess to end our very insightful and actually very eye-opening discussion, because there's so much happening in this space also, and it's very hopeful for those that want to regain power and control over this. What are your hopes now for how the Philippines can navigate this world and integrate movement and wellness into cancer care?
Yeah, I really hope that um, this one, like exercise, will be an integrated part of a patient's treatment plan. Not everyone is doing this yet, but some countries have already adapted that. I myself have experienced the huge gap in the care system. As a patient, I had to find my own resources to know what else would benefit me during my cancer journey. And if only oncologists, your medical team, surgical team, doctors, and healthcare professionals will know that it should be a collaborative space. Patients should be treated not just as a disease, but as a whole. So I really hope and wish that our healthcare system will adapt a patient centric care system wherein we are all collaborative and really finding ways to help the patient restore and heal and recover as a whole. Wellness as a whole, a holistic approach for patients. And we get to collaborate with people like me, cancer exercise specialists, referrals, co-management, those things. And to have exercise as a must, as a part of the treatment, something that is actually prescribed by your doctor. If not prescribed, refer to a cancer exercise specialist. Educate, prevention, awareness, those things. It really helps a lot if we provide a lot of information and um, education for our patients, because in the end, it's them who will advocate for themselves and who will find ways to get what's best for their body. So like in my case, I really had to advocate for, doc, when can I exercise again? Doc, what are my limits? Doc, when can I start doing this again? Those things. So for me, it's also important that patients will learn to be their own advocates. No one else knows your body the way you do. So when you're faced with something like cancer, it's so important that you also advocate for yourself and know what is best for your body. So I do hope for that kind of patient-centric care for the Philippines, wherein exercise is a must and not an option.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's not yet in the plan because it is very vital for health, regardless if you're sick or not, right?
I know, I'm so
Yeah,
frustrated about it, but it just really helps to keep talking about it so that doctors will
yes.
also this is the thing now, and this is needed. This should be done.
Yes, it starts with awareness, and with your work, it's a big step forward for the Philippines.
Yes, and with platforms like Rappler, thank you so much for amplifying my
Of
voice with
course,
this.
it's our pleasure. And last, what message personally do you want to share this Breast Cancer Awareness Month to women who might be scared to get screened or are currently undergoing treatment?
Um, okay, early detection saved my life. So that's the thing. Because of early detection, I had better options. I have more time and more years with my children. So I know it's scary to get screened because you might find out that there's something there. Might be cancer. You've been feeling along, right? But it would be better to find out early than finding out something that's too late already. So yeah, I really hope that more women would take action. Breast Cancer Awareness Month is not just for awareness. I want it to be action, breast cancer action month more than awareness, because awareness is key, but action saves lives. So to actually go to a doctor and have yourselves checked is very, very important, for women to know your risk factors. Get to talk to a doctor if you haven't. It doesn't matter if you're young, because you're never too young anymore for cancer. Even men can get cancer. So preparedness is also key.
Okay, April, thank you so much for sharing your story and your
Thank you.
work and purpose with us. It's going to be so helpful for a lot of people watching. And yeah, your work is inspiring, and we hope you get to reach more patients and survivors through what you
Thank you so
do.
much. I really do
Yeah,
hope
so
so.
it's always inspiring to see how survivors like you turning pain into purpose, and you're also helping others rebuild not just their bodies but their sense of hope too. So yeah, and so I'd like to just say thank you again for being here, and to
Okay.
everyone watching. You can keep the conversation going on the Rappler app. And once again, thank you to April for being our guest today. And I'm Steph Ronaldo, multimedia reporter for Rappler, and thanks for watching.